Daddle residence.
Hi, may I speak to Henry Daddle, please?
Speaking.
Mr. Daddle, my name is Nancy Drew. This is a long shot, but I'm calling regarding a Maya artifact that was bought at auction in 1898 by one Henry Albert Daddle. Does that ring any bells?
Sure. Henry Albert Daddle Sr. was my great-grandfather. You're talking about the jade carving, right?
Yes, exactly. Wow, I can't believe my luck.
Well, it's a lucky life if you ask me. So what can I do for you?
I'm wondering if the artifact is still in the family.
Forgive me, Miss Drew. Who are you exactly?
I'm the deputy curator at Beach Hill Museum in Washington, D.C. I'm doing some research on jade carvings of the ancient Maya.
I see. Well, I was the last to inherit the carving, but my daughter Penelope was so intrigued with it that I gave it to her. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you about it. Why don't you give her a call on her line? It's 555-3197.
Will do. Thanks, Mr. Daddle.
My pleasure.
Hello?
Hi, is this Penelope?
Not even.
Oh, is this 605-555-3197?
Yeah, but no one calls me Penelope anymore. Except my parents, that is. To my friends, the art world, and anyone else who made it out of the 20th century, I'm Poppy.
The art world? Wait, you're not Poppy Dada, are you?
Ta-da! Ping ping! You win! Who's this?
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a detective.
A detective? No way! So do you get to wear a sassy tweed hat and pick hairs off dead bodies and gross, creepy stuff like that?
Actually, I try to keep a low profile, and a tweed hat, well, it's a little conspicuous.
So, where'd you get my name? Don't tell me I'm like wanted by the FBI or something. That would be too scandalous.
Not quite. Taylor Sinclair told me about you. I saw one of your paintings in his office, here in Washington, D.C.
So, how do you know Big Bunny Sinclair?
Taylor and I are both affiliated with Beach Hill Museum, also in D.C.
Has Taylor been pushing those Oaxacan cookies on you? You haven't eaten one, have you?
So far, I've managed to politely decline. I take it you advise against them?
Let's put it this way. His trip to Oaxaca was about 2 years ago, and he's been trying to move those rancid, lard biscuits ever since.
Aha! My suspicions are confirmed. I'll put that in my case notes.
That's hot. What's a case? Are there dead bodies involved? Do you need to, like, tap my phone or impersonate me or something?
Someone is stealing Maya antiquities, jade carvings to be exact, and leaving this scary red handprint at the scene of every crime.
Ghastly. So, what's with the red hand?
It's printed with this stuff called cinnabar. Nobody seems to know what it means. All I know is the more I investigate, the more complicated it gets.
Drama. So, where do the Daddles come in?
I'm trying to track down certain Maya jade carvings that haven't fallen into the thief's hands yet. I think one of them might be in your family.
You mean that ancient green rock with the weird symbol on it? I slapped some shoe polish on it and stuck it in one of my paintings.
You're kidding. That's a one-of-a-kind Maya artifact, a piece of history. It's hundreds of years old. It's worth a lot of money.
That's the whole point. Have you heard the saying that a work of art is never finished, just abandoned? Well, I'm taking that idea to the limit. by making art that will keep changing as different people encounter, perceive, and interact with it. I'm tired of artwork that says, "Don't touch." I'm all about letting go, about sending my work into the world and seeing how it continues to become. Don't you see? It's an organic process. I mean, how can people really relate to art if it doesn't come to life and grow and die, just like they do? That carving is part of something bigger now.
I can't imagine your dad would be very pleased about this. Does he know?
Oh, Nancy, don't be such a prude. Taylor's probably still got that artwork. At least, I don't think he's sold it yet. Why don't you ask him? Tell him you want to see the piece called Deadly Midnight Snack. It's the one with the rubber shark.
The one with the rubber shark. Yes, I've seen it, but I didn't notice any jade carving.
Well, take a closer look there, sweets. It's in there. If you really need the carving to crack this case, why don't you just go ahead and take it?
What? Poppy, you can't be serious.
Sure, why not? After all, this is a chance to enact exactly what I've been talking about, the organic process, inviting my viewers to interact with my work. The deal is, you can take the carving, but you have to put something in its place.
Something in its place? Like what? An old shoe? A subway token? A movie stub?
No, it should be something more organic. Stay with the title, Deadly Midnight Snack, and don't be afraid to go way out. As an artist, I can tell you that inspiration bites in the most mysterious ways.
Okay, Poppy, if you say so.
Right on. But let's keep Taylor out of this. He'd probably blow a gasket if he saw you tampering with the merchandise. That's all art is to him, you know. Merchandise.
It's a deal.
Good luck, Nancy.
Thanks, Poppy. Bye.
Any news?
There was an incident at the museum. Henrik is in the hospital with a head injury.
Poor Henrik. Another squabble between him and Joanna, perhaps? Oh, I'm kidding, but I do remember the time she threatened to push him in the pond. Temper, temper, I'm always telling her.
Do you have any idea what the Nahuatl word for snake is?
I don't know.
Mind if I help myself to one of those scrumptious-looking Oaxacan cookies?
Be my guest.
May I take a closer look at that wacky Dada painting?
Be my guest. I just had a call from Poppy this morning. She says she's in a really creative period right now. I said, please, sweetie, if you get any more creative, they're going to lock you up.
Pardon me a moment, Nancy. I'll be right back. I hope.
Poppy said to replace it with something organic.
Hello, Nancy.
Why did Mexico choose to lend the monolith to Beach Hill and not some other museum?
Johanna Riggs outbid everyone. I had no idea a small museum like Beach Hill could afford such an expensive arrangement.
Do you know much about Maya glyphs?
You've got me there. I know Spanish, English, Portuguese, and several indigenous languages, including Quiche and Nahuatl, but I have yet to learn the language of glyphs.
Have you heard? The Pakal carving was stolen from the museum.
Well, I heard the alarms going off, but it wasn't until Henry called me that I heard the news.
You don't sound very concerned about all of this.
I was running late. I just figured somebody tripped a wire and I kept going. Whew.
I'll need to alert the police so they can ask you some questions.
I have diplomatic immunity, so I do not have to answer any questions. But I will because I have nothing to hide.
Don't you care about the disappearance of such a rare Maya artifact?
That artifact was lost to me as soon as it left Mexican soil. So my friend Pakal goes underground for a while until he is sold again. Suddenly, he turns up in Amsterdam or Hong Kong. Unless he is rightfully repatriated to Mexico, what's the difference?
I need to know the Nahuatl word for snake. Can you help me?
What do you need that word for?
I'd rather not say. It's part of my investigation.
Now, if only I could remember the word for snake. I hear you have been a great help to Henrik. I wonder if you can help me improve my memory too.
What are you talking about, Alejandro?
I am almost certain that the provenance documents for the Pakal carving were falsified. I have asked Joanna to see the documents, but she evades me. If you can find that file in her office and bring it to me, I think it might help my memory of Nahuatl a lot.
What makes you think they were falsified?
In Mexico, it is common knowledge that the carving was stolen from Pakal's tomb when it was first excavated. But no one has been able to prove it. If I can determine that the provenance documents are a fraud, this will be the first major step toward legal repatriation of the artwork, whenever and wherever it resurfaces.
I guess I hadn't thought about it like that.
I feel my Nahuatl coming back to me already. Do you know what Sihuapili means? Princess or lady. Now, if only I could remember the word for snake.
Have you heard? Henrik Vanderheun fell off the pyramid at the museum. He's in the hospital with a mysterious head injury.
That is terrible news. I hope it's not too serious.
Do you consider Henrik a conquistador, along with Joanna Riggs and Sinclair?
Henrik is a student of my culture and my heritage, not trying to buy and sell it. We don't agree on everything, especially not baseball, but I have nothing against him.
Do you know what cinnabar is?
The red powder that the Maya used? Sure, I know it. They use it at Beach Hill too, do they not?
Cinnabar was used to make the red handprint that was left at the scene of the Pakal theft.
What is your point?
Joanna said the museum didn't have any, but the supplier said she ordered some last week.
Have you called the police?
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Of course. Sister Joanna couldn't possibly be a thief now, could she?
I should get back to the museum.
Adios, Nancy. Hello.
I should get back to the museum.
Goodbye.
You have voicemail. Press 0 to retrieve messages.
Nancy, it's Joanna. The police are done giving me the 3rd degree, but now the board has suspended me. To make a long story short, I'm forbidden to set foot in the museum. Could you please call Franklin Rose and try to reason with him? If we don't get a move on, this exhibit is going straight down the tubes.
To replay messages, press 0. Press 9 for an outside line.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, you must be psychic. I was just getting ready to call you myself.
Oh, really? Why?
I feel I should apologize for the situation that's going on at the museum, dear. I really did think we were setting you up with a nice little internship, a breather from your casework, but instead it looks like we've fed you to the lions.
Don't worry, I'm used to it by now. And after all, this situation is no more treacherous than my recent attempt at a ski vacation in Wisconsin. Anyway, about Beach Hill.
I think I know what you're going to say, Nancy. Let me be frank. Joanna Riggs has been in the doghouse with the board for months. Her thirst for acclaim has led her to gamble the future and the reputation of Beach Hill time and again. Now that we've lost the Pakal carving, one of our most notable pieces, well, she's just got to be stopped.
But with Henrik in the hospital and Joanna suspended, how can we possibly get this exhibit off the ground?
Leave that to me. We'll postpone the opening if we have to. Look, I've got a client waiting, Nancy. What we need now is for you to take up the slack. I've spoken to the rest of the board, and we've agreed that the best thing is to put you in charge.
But Mr. Rose, I don't think Joanna is responsible for the Pakal theft. She shouldn't be punished.
She's not being punished, dear. In legal terms, we're suspending her in abundance of caution, so she won't do any more damage to Beach Hill's reputation or her own. We're counting on you to catch this thief red-handed. Ha ha! Just kidding, kiddo. If you can get the Pakal back, we'll see about giving Ms. Riggs another chance. That seems fair, doesn't it?
It's a deal, Mr. Rose.
Bye, kiddo.